Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me. We are going live. I'm Brian Meert, CEO of AdvertiseMint. We go live twice a week to be able to give you guys updates and what's happening in the world of Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, and Snapchat advertising. And at the same time, answer questions that people ask us either here or throughout the week. We get asked a lot of different questions. A lot of times we'll actually answer them here as well. So that people are able to get the answers and to know what their options are. So with that, if you guys want to share this or tag anyone that you know that's interested in Facebook advertising or wanting to know more about it, feel free to do that right now. Also, if you like what you're hearing or any of the tips or things that we're putting out there, feel free to throw some of those likes or hearts or emojis across the screen. It's always fun time. So cool. With that, we've got a couple good things to run over today. The first one is 4 ways to increase your engagement while doing social, or to increase your engagement using Facebook Live. So there's a couple things that I want to be able to kind of run through today. There's 4 different tips that there was an article published by Social Media Week. And they gave a couple of things in here, and I just wanted to do a quick recap on this because I thought it was such a good article, along with examples of people who are really doing this right and really growing their engagement while using Facebook Live. So the first tip was to shoot behind the scenes content. So a lot of times things that's happening with your business or with your day-to-day world, your company, you assume that that's normal every day. Being able to show people kind of a behind the scenes look of what it looks like, what's going on, like even still right now, right? If I were to take this and turn it around, you would see lights, you would see other people. Hey, look. Oh, there's people on live, right? So there we go. So that is what they're talking about, which is you're able to show a behind-the-scenes look into what's really going on, with your business, how things are working. And Dunkin' Donuts did this. They had a Facebook Live series of events called Inside the Kitchen, where they would show people how they made their heart-shaped donuts. They would show people different options. At the end of it, they would give away a chance to win, I think, $10,000. And so those things all together added up into creating amazing engagement for them, because they were simply showing the back end of, most people just walk in, they buy donuts and they leave, and they're like, hey, we're going to show you how they're made, what goes into it, how the process behind it. And a lot of times people are just curious to be able to see, because that's not something they necessarily see on a daily basis. So that was tip number 1. Tip number 2, to answer commonly asked questions. So there's a cosmetic company called Benefit, and they had a Facebook Live event called Tipsy Tricks. And what they would do is they would basically answer questions as they were coming in, and they would allow consumers to be able to select which question they wanted answered, whether it was this one or that one. And it was just, people there having fun, talking about, the products and which ones they like best. What happens was it grew massively into, a huge following. And that was simply because they were answering some of the commonly asked questions regarding their products and doing it in a fun and engaging way. The third tip that they have was to bring advocates on board. And there's a lot now with Facebook. You can bring in other people into the live stream, so where you can have other people that you interview and actually bring in along with you. You're able to have a conversation with them. One of my favorite examples of this, I love doing mud runs, so things like the Spartan Race or Tough Mudder. And Tough Mudder had a guy named Coach T Mud, and he has this awesome little mustache, and he's just he's a big guy, but he wears like these really tight shorts and a tight shirt, and he just runs around doing funny stuff. But he'll interview people during the races, and a lot of times he'll actually run alongside of the people doing it. And he's super funny. The stuff that he does, he'll do like stretching and things that just look really, I don't know, it's really funny. But he's been doing this a lot, and so it's a consistent person, a fun host that's doing this again and again and again. Tough Mudder has events every couple of weeks, where they're doing events around the United States or around the world. So it's a way to where it's more fun and engaging. It's not scripted. It's just having fun with the product or the event that they've got on their own. So that's the third one. And then finally, the last tip would be to demo products. And this, one of a good example here would be Tastemade, which created a thing called Tiny Kitchen. A lot of those kitchen videos where people are cooking or showing different things of how the ingredients that are going in, and really it's just fast-paced content. But what they were doing, it was taking that to a live element where they're actually showing it and walking you through the process. And so all of those things combined, when it comes to just the products, a lot of times you think you need to make a commercial and have it be perfectly edited so the users are able to see what's going on and talk about it, or to be able, you're trying to tell them here's what you need to watch. And a lot of times just showing the product, having fun with it, asking, people are going to ask questions like, how would it work with this, or make it do that, and you get to have that fun back and forth. So all those ways are ways that you can kind of help build your engagement with your fans and your followings by simply using Facebook Live in relation to your business. So that's it. Those are the 4 tips I've got. Another update that we had in relation to Facebook ads was that Facebook has recently allowed Canvas ads to now be linked with Instagram stories. So, for those of you that, know Canvas ads are these full width experience type of ads, where if you can imagine them almost like Lego blocks, you're able to stack them on top of each other based on what you want. You can have images, videos, carousels, another video, another carousel, text, and you can be able to arrange them however you want to be able to have them work and display your brand or your experience in the way that you want to have consumers see it. So what's happened is Facebook has now allowed you through Instagram stories, a person can see a full screen video or a vertical video, and they have the ability to then from there select and go right in to a Canvas ad, which is also a full screen experience. So again, very seamless for the user. It's taking up the entire screen of their mobile phone, and not necessarily any surprises here that this is being linked, but it's fantastic for people that really want to offer people or companies that want to provide a full screen experience and really take up all the real estate of the mobile phone. So that's now out and updated as well. One of the questions, I got 2 questions here that came in that I want to be able to address and talk about. One of them is kind of a bigger one, was what do you look for when you're running Facebook ads in terms of analytics? Like, what are you watching? How are you managing campaigns? What are the things that you're going over? And so it's kind of a big question, but I made a couple bullet points and I'll try to go over them. The very first thing that you need to remember is that your results, which is ultimately the number that you're watching, is going to change based on your objective. So whether you're going for clicks or conversions or for leads or app installs, there is a results tab, and that will always adjust based on the objective. So you need to make sure that you understand what's happening. A lot of times people have clicks campaigns and conversion campaigns right next to them, and the results tab will all line up, and a lot of times people misjudge, or I've seen it happen several times where people have misjudged the results that they think they're getting because the numbers are lined up. So obviously step 1, that's the first thing I look for, is always make sure that you understand the results that you're watching. Number 2, impressions. That's one of the things that I always look for. Like, are your ads actually running? Are you getting the eyeballs that you want to get? Basically, is the ad showing to people based on the budgets and the times that you have allocated? Ad frequency. This is a big one. How many times are people seeing the ad? You want to be able to get the ad shown to people. A lot of times it takes multiple touch points or multiple impressions before people do take action. But at the same way, there's also a downside there where if your frequency is getting above 5, and there's some experts that even would go as low as 3. And say once it gets above 3 or at a 5, you need to start switching out your ad. And that's basically what I look for is, as that number gets above the 3 or the 5, generally what you'll see is a relevance score start to drop a little bit and your cost per action is going to start rising. So that's one of the things I'm looking for when I'm watching through my analytics. Other things like ad clicks. Like, are people clicking? Are they actually moving to where I want them to go through the process? And there's a couple things to remember when you're doing ad clicks. One, the majority of people are going to be coming from your mobile pay or from a mobile phone. So understand wherever you're sending them, you want to have that be somewhat mobile friendly. Not somewhat, it needs to be mobile friendly. And if conversions are low, so if you're seeing a large amount of clicks come through, but not necessarily a large amount of conversions, you might want to look at adjusting either your objective at the beginning, or 2, looking at who you're actually targeting and bringing through, or number 3, it could be something with the actual landing page or the product itself. If it's something that people don't care about or the price is too much, it doesn't matter, if you get 1 million people to click. If there's no interest there from the market or from people who you're targeting, it's not going to matter. So there's always that kind of last element. Generally, when we're managing Facebook ads, we control the first couple of ones. We can't necessarily control the last ones. So we're always looking at the data we can control. And if we're seeing that we're doing the things there and it's not making a change, then we'll go back and talk with a client about possibly adjusting options with the landing page or testing other price points. Let's see what else. CTR, so click-through rate. This is super important when it comes to improving targeting. If your click-through rate's important because, let me step back. Your click-through rate is really important because that shows you are people taking action, meaning are they caring about the ad and actually going through. A rule of thumb is generally 1% is okay. It's not fantastic, but if you're getting above 1%, you're doing all right. If you're below 1%, man, something's got to change and not good with your ads. Either you're targeting too broad or your ads are not really good or performing well. But generally, we can see stuff with 3 to 5 to 10% click-through rates based on the type of content or the type of ad that's being shown. If you want to get your click-through rates higher, you're going to want to work on improving your targeting, take it from a bigger audience down to more specific. That should be able to kick it up. Improve things like ad colors, ad copy, buttons like learn more, like the call to action buttons like learn more, generally get more clicks than buy now or shop now. That's something that you need to take into account if you're trying to improve those numbers. You can be able to take those little steps. Also, cost per click. That's basically your total cost divided by the number of clicks. That's something that we watch a lot of times over time. So I want to see, is that trending up? Is it trending down? Is Facebook trying to charge me more for these type of people that are coming through? Conversion rates, are people converting? Like, what are, based on the number of people that I have that I'm sending through, how high is the conversion rates? Again, 1% conversion rate's pretty average across the board. I would strive to get higher than that. We've got some really phenomenal clients that are up in the 5, 6, 7% range. Generally, I think if you were just to open a Shopify store, we see people right around 1% or a little bit under it as they're starting out. So, every little thing that you can do to improve on your landing pages and on your conversion rates are going to be able to help you in the long run. And then finally, cost per conversion. And if you want to improve your cost per conversion, these are things like you're going to want to watch the placements of where your ads are at, where they're being displayed, what's going on. Looking at the pricing for each one, you want to check the breakdown report. It's also important to know that not necessarily does a low cost per click equal a low cost per conversion. It's the one thing to get people to the site, but there's another thing to get the right people to the site who are looking to purchase or actually wanting to complete the action that you want. So those are two numbers a lot of times I look at and watch for any sort of what might be something that's not lining up. That's kind of it. And then maybe my last tip that I would give here is, you have the option to build customized reports. In Facebook, if you want to do that, you have the ability to select exactly the fields that you want to see or have be displayed in the order that you want. You go under Ads Manager, select columns, customize columns, and then set the different things that you want in the order that you want, and then you would select set as default. So that's a little tip there for you guys. So that was it for the answer to that question. That was a lot, but I hope you enjoyed it. And then my last question that we had that came in was from Matthew, and he was asking, how can I sell my house online using Facebook ads, and should I? Like, I don't necessarily want to pay for an agent. Is it smart to sell your house using Facebook ads as opposed to going the traditional route? So from my standpoint, maybe there's a couple things that I would point out. First, Facebook is a powerful tool. And I would say a lot of real estate agents don't understand the power of this tool in terms of reaching people. And so, for Matthew, you have the ability to target people based on income, on net worth, on the size of the house that they're in. So I would be like, what's the size of your house now? And I would target people with homes that are lower in size. So if people are looking to get a bigger home, they would see it. You can also target people potentially not only as, hey, just move into a house, but you could target people based on their second homeowners, meaning they already have multiple homes. So they might be looking to purchase it as an investment property. You also can target people who are renters or people who live in a condo. People that might be looking to upgrade and move forward beyond that. You can also target people that are in the area or specific. So what I would generally say is any big landmarks that might be in that area or around that area. See if that's something that you can possibly target people on. Like if I lived right across the street from Disneyland, that may be people that I would want to target. Be like, would you want a home right across the street from Disneyland? So those type of things are all there. If you guys want more tips on how to be able to understand targeting and what your options are at, we have an awesome infographic. You just have to Google Complete Guide to Facebook Ad Targeting, and that will come up under advertisement. It's a PDF. It's 3 pages. You can print it out, use it as kind of a reference for there. And since this is at the end of the live video, and a lot of people may or may not watch all the way to the end, we actually have a new guide coming out that's called the Complete Guide to Hidden Facebook Ad Targeting. And so a lot of people don't know about this or know that it's available. Facebook has these secret interests that you have the ability to unlock. That infographic is 8 pages long. There's a ton of additional data that's there that's not available through traditional targeting. And so we've been putting together an infographic on it, and it's set to launch probably either sometime by the end of this week or next week. That will be up on our website. So really cool stuff. But yeah, besides that, I just want to thank everyone for watching, for checking it out, and yeah, I guess that's it. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye.